Oh my gosh, we're actually live. How long this is going to last? This is different. I'm using a different camera, so me to get used to looking in there and not seeing myself, it's a little different. So anyway, we are doing a Pioneer Woman inspired tray. Now I've had this tray forever, and it's right here, and I have painted it. It used to be like an animal print. My niece gave it to me once. Maybe I'm not as wild as I used to be. But what I did so far, a while back, I had painted it, and I painted it with fluff, and I decided I wanted to give it an upgrade. I had distressed it a little bit, which you can see, but so now I refreshed the fluff on there, and I painted the bottom of it with Harbor in silk. Okay. If you're just coming on, I'm apologizing for being late. Um, it's my internet. And so I had this set up with the camera and all that. But anyway, we're going to get through it. So, what I want to do is simulate the Pioneer Woman style in this tray. So, if you haven't ever heard of Pioneer Woman, she has all kinds of textiles. I guess she started with a cooking show. Her name's Reed Drummond, but she has all kinds of really cool kitchen accessories, dinnerware, and yes, I am a fan. This is my coffee mug I drink out of every morning. And I have dinnerware, and this is one of the pieces. And this is kind of the look that I want to try to simulate a little bit, you know, um, not to totally copy it, but just I love the colors so much. I wanted to coordinate with my other Pioneer Woman stuff. So this is decoupage paper from Dixie Belle. This is from the Bells and Whistles line, and this is called Sketched Roses, blue sketched flowers. Okay, so we're going to use these, and then we're going to color them. So I started the tray and I did half of it. So I'm going to show you how we got to where we are, and then we're going to do some coloring on there. So hopefully we can get something that is a little bit more similar to this. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started finally. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down, and hopefully I don't ruin anything because that's just the way the night's going, right? Okay. All right. That's good. So you won't have to look at me. So we're going to take this decoupage paper, as we did already. I cut out some of the designs already, and I'm going to do that again. I'm just going to do a couple of the bigger flowers. Um, it is It's easy to cut these out, but it's a little time consuming. So that's why we're just going to go for some of the bigger ones. Actually, I'm just going to kind of cut this off here. These are nice sharp scissors. I'm just going around this at the moment. I'll cut both of these out. And then we'll come back and get a leaf or two. I'll set that aside. Hope you guys can hear me okay. So last week we had a really great project, and it turned out wonderful, but it was a hot mess of a video because I couldn't get my lighting right, my camera, all that stuff. I tried to use this Droid cam, which you have to admit is a much clearer picture. I'm happy about that, but I didn't do it right. So I had the software on there and everything, but it had been a while, so I gave up. And so anyway, tonight, then my internet didn't work. So I appreciate you sticking with me. And I have good news. We're over 700 subscribers. We're at 709, I think. So we're on the move. And looking to get to that 1,000 mark. And you know what else is important to grow the channel though too is the watch time. So I appreciate you watching, and if you're watching and you want to say hi, please do. I'd love it if you did. And but if you ever feel like binge watching any of my other episodes, because we do besides Tuesday Talk, we do a Thursday show that's called More About Decor, which is an edited video, so you won't have any of this nonsense. And then we have Saturdays at 4, we have Step by Step. So the Thursday night video is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so we have that done. And let me cut out another flower, and then I'll show you how we attach those to the, or decoupage those to the tray part. We're using Dixie Belle's gator hide. And I hope your week is going well so far. Hope you had a happy 4th. We had, well, one of my sons came over with his kids yesterday, and we had a little cookout, so that was nice. But my poor dog sure has suffered, as I'm sure many of you who have pets. My dog just doesn't like it. He was a shelter, like a rescue dog, and besides not liking them, I don't know. I think his owners were mean to him. I can't even imagine because he's so sweet. So he just seems to be super duper afraid. So, okay, so where you have this flat edge, we can put that against a flat edge and work with that. I did that over here. Over here, if you can see that. There we go. Here. And I did it over here too. So that is okay. We can do that, and just that makes easy cutting. We'll just do that. I do want to get some of these leaves in there though, because I'll show you on the plate here. So if you look at that, they've blended on the leaf, and I'm going to be using some watercolor markers, and I love these. I actually got them from Wish, and they're really cool. I've used them on some of our vintage forged jewelry, which if you haven't seen that yet, we do have a Facebook and Instagram page. We're just going to go with that. And we also have an Etsy shop, and we have Vintage Forge in a couple stores now. So I'm using Dixie Belle's gator hide to act as a decoupage medium for these. To seal this, to attach it and to seal it. Okay, so I have a brush in my plastic bag here. Ah, now it's on the floor. All right, so I'm going to just dip that in there, and we'll go over here. So this is against the edge. I'm trying to make it so you can see it. And we're just going to lay that up against the edge. I'll hold it up. So, yeah, there we go. And then just use your brush to put it down, and then just kind of paint over it or coat over it. This side is dry, so we're going to be using the watercolor marker on that. So, I'm going to do these two here, and then I might add another one later in this center part. Okay, so let's just go ahead and paint this area with the gator hide, and then lay the flower down. Get it nice and flat and paint over it. So I've used this particular decoupage paper. This is actually left over from a piece of furniture I did. And with that one, it was super easy. You didn't have to go around all these flowers and cut it out. I just used the whole thing on drawer fronts. And I actually just sold that piece the other day. But I just thought today, I was looking for a transfer because I thought maybe that would be good, but I didn't really have any transfers that lent themselves to this floral. Um, we have a floral transfer in the Bells and Whistles line, but I think it's called Dark Romance. But I was actually out of it, so um, and then I remembered this, and I'm like, oh, that'll work if I paint it. So this is kind of a think outside the box thing. Um, just it's not normally the way you use it. So I definitely think that I want to add another flower in there. Trying to get this just so you can see it. That's the wet side. This is the dry side. I might add another one in the center. Not sure yet. Okay, so we are obviously going to work on the dry side for our coloring project. All right, so we're going to turn it around to this side. And let's look at our inspiration for a second here. So we have yellows, we have pinks, we have greens. So let's pull some of those flowers out. And we have a lot of white in there too. So let's pull some of those colors out. So these markers are watercolor markers, and they have the coolest pens that blend the colors together. So these pens are full of water. You fill them when you get it, and then that helps you blend your markers together. So I'm going to pick a couple colors using our plate here as inspiration. It's not enough room here. I'll move this out of the way a second. Get that out of the way, and I'll put our plate down, and we'll pick a couple colors. So on the end, is the colors. So I really like that. I think that goes well. And then, let's see. We do have a yellow over here. That looks like a good yellow. Now we'll have to pick a couple greens. But we also need a lighter pink, I think. I think. That's kind of corally. I don't think we want that one. I think we'll take this more of a lipsticky pink. Lipsticky. Okay, there's another red. It's so close to that red, but we'll just leave them all out here. And that pink is a little too purpley, I think. All right, so the other one has a lot of greens in it. So the greens that they have are kind of a hunter color or a darker. Okay, which I don't really see in there. Let me look in this one. Okay, I guess we can use this one. And then one that's more kind of like a minty color. So I guess we'll use that. And then let's see if there's a white. Okay, we don't really have a white, so we might have to rely on some brighter colors to make that, or we might have to come back in after it's all said and done with our fluff and add a little bit of white to it. So I think we're not going to use that one. So I'm going to pull this extra water pen out. That's a blender, so that we'll have two of those. One of them is a little bit bigger than the other one. So I'm going to pull those out of the way. And remember, this is our dry side that we're going to work on. And I'm going to have one of these ready. And I also have some paper towels ready. So you can see that that is just, here, where you can see it. There we go. You can see that that's just water in there. Okay. All right, let's do a leaf. I'm anxious to do a leaf. All right, so naturally on here is the darker shade, and it's kind of the opposite on the actual plate, but we're going to go ahead and just do the dark on the dark here so it shows up. Okay, and let's take a water pen and just kind of blend that together while it's still wet. Oh yeah, I like the way that looks. And then I just like to take and just kind of wipe that off right away. So let's see if you can get a good look at that. And then we'll just keep working on the leaves for a few minutes here, and then we'll get to some of the flowers. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of go with the light spots. And then just go over the dark spots with my darker green. And there are kind of naturally some white spots on that leaf, so I'm just going to kind of go with that. So this is kind of like, I don't know, adult coloring. I'm just going to kind of get a lot of these little green areas around this rosebud and a little bit on the stem. We'll try to make that stem a little bit darker. And then you don't want to let it all dry up before you start blending it. So I'm going to hurry up and get in here with the paint blending. It's not super duper important to color in the lines, because that's kind of the beauty of watercolor. It just kind of goes out of the lines. Okay, I'm going to do this other leaf here. I appreciate you hanging out with me tonight. I look forward to our Tuesday talk nights. I just wish the internet was cooperating a little better these last couple weeks, or technical difficulties in general. All right, so I still have some leaf action to do there, but I'm real anxious to get on with a little bit of this pink. So I'm just gonna pick one of the brightest pinks and then one of the darker ones. Let's go with these two. And just gonna kind of go in there. That's much darker. Now we're getting some color in here, and let's blend that together. I'm liking it. I want a little more pink in that. Yeah, I think it's important to have a clean tip, when you're blending. Looks really good on the on the camera. I came back in there and put a little more green on that one. Okay, so let's do another rose. And then come in with that darker red, which when you put it on that darker blue and these sketched roses, I think it looks really cool. It really intensifies the color. So I'm just kind of going along the edge, just like we would do. This is like your neutral brush whenever we do paint blending with the chalk paint. I'm loving this. Okay, so I want to use a little bit of this yellow. Wish I had some small roses because they do some of the roses in yellow. Let's do this. My mom and dad, when they got married, they had yellow roses, or well, my mom had yellow roses. So I'm kind of fond of them myself. Had a yellow rose bush in my yard, and unfortunately had to dig it up. So I don't really have to blend this one. Like every now and then, it kind of stalls. So and it looks a little weird, like a little otherworldly. Okay, so let's get some of this green. So where you don't, there's some places you don't have to blend because if you're not doing two colors in that area, then you really don't have to blend it. I'm going to get this other marker for the water one, water pen. Okay, that has a much wider tip. Okay, I am just going to kind of spread this around a little bit just to make it look a little bit more like watercolor. So the only other color that's in our inspiration for the yellow is white. And since we don't have a white pen, like I said, we might come back in later and do a little white with the fluff and just touch it up a little bit. But let's use this color, which is kind of that corally color. So you can see there's white in there, which we're going to go with that. It doesn't look corally at all, does it? Okay, now I don't want to paint too much before we blend. Let's do that. And where's my blending pen? So I got a little bit of it on that white area, but that's okay. Trying to clean out this pen. I think if you squeeze it a little bit, it'll squirt some water out, and that helps clean it out. Yeah. Okay. I'm already really happy with my tray. Okay, I'm gonna keep working on. I'm gonna get that light pink. We can do some of these inside leaves in the light pink. Like I said, don't need to be perfect with this. Kind of going over some of those darker bluish areas. And what I don't get done tonight, I'll definitely post on my Instagram tomorrow. But I'm excited about this because it was just one of those things I was looking at the other day and thought, it, it just looked kind of yucky. And I thought, oh, I could really make it look a lot more like my roses. I have roses all throughout my kitchen, not all Pioneer Woman. I also have Royal Albert Old Country Roses pattern and just some other vintage rose plates and stuff and pictures. I just love my roses. This, I'll get, this is going to sit on it. This is the butter dish. There's all kinds of different pattern names, but I think that'll be pretty. All right, let's do a little green. And a little dark green. I think almost looks like gray. Oh well, gray it is then. Because that's what I've been using. It looks like green. See, like when you go outside the lines a little bit, it really looks very much like a watercolor painting. All right, this over here is kind of getting dry. We might be able to work a little bit more on that area too. So we have another rose over here. And so we did that one in the yellow. Really all they show pretty much is pink. But like in my cup, they show a light blue. We could do that. Let's do it. In this pot holder, again, we have a lot of yellow and different shades of pink, and then the blue's the background. But since we're on a darker blue, let's get a light blue, a real different blue, like a brighter blue. This reminds me of Dixie Belle blue. And I'm just gonna paint it on this rose. And I'd like to get a lighter color too. You know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go crazy and just use a little bit of the yellow with that. And then get our pen and blend it together. Oh, and guess what? Yellow and blue make green. We remember that. So I don't really want a green rose, but now I have one. It's okay. We're going to come back in. With, what the heck, let's add some pink to that and see what happens. I think that'll help it. Here. It was one of those moments where the camera kind of stuck because I was not painting anymore. Well. Okay, I don't really love that rose. It's just kind of, I really like the pink one. I really like the yellow one. I am not crazy about that blue I put in there because now I feel like I have a green rose. But we're not going to worry about it, right? Maybe let's put since we're going crazy anyway, let's put a little bit of this darker red on there. Okay, I'm liking that better. A lot better. Trying to get some of that pigment out of the water blender. All right. Okay, I really, really like this. So now we're going to go over here. Might as well, right? So that's what we've already done. So I think probably we should do pink rose. Maybe make one a little more light pink. So let me see if I even have a lighter pink. I have kind of orangey and corally colors. Some of these are so close, but this is the lightest pink that I have. So I'm just going to come in and paint on the light areas. All right, and then I'm going to get the, I'm going to do a little bit more there. And I get a darker one. That really does kind of make it look dramatic when you use the darker pink too. But I like that you can see the blue sketched roses through it. I think that looks pretty cool. I don't know whether that's a leaf or not. I don't think so. Okay, let's blend this one. Oops, that's pink. I'm not exactly sure what the open time is, but I think you're pretty much good. I want to keep that neutral so that they'll blend together. But I think, you can come back almost anytime before it completely dries. Because just like I would imagine with our water-based paints, water reactivates it. So Oh, I like this one a lot. I think that looks so pretty. All right, let's do this one a little bit darker. So I'm doing these really dark areas of the rose. Just kind of following the lines. All right, and then let me come back in with another pink. You know what, let's use a different pink than that one. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but I'm really loving this. Okay, so they have just a slightly different color. All right, and let's do these leaves. Let's color the light parts. So you can see that. The dark parts. And let me get the water pen. All right. You know, I think we could, call it quits at this point because I think there's enough on there. But now, I know you can see in the light there where where we coated it with the sealer. So what I'm going to do is I'll go back over the entire piece with the sealer. Now I still might put one more rose on there, just one more. I won't do it while you guys are on. I'm just going to finish it. And then, like usual, I will post it on my Instagram in the morning. Okay. Um, so, again, it's been a challenging night with video, second week in a row, but it's all good. We'll get over it. In case you didn't see a good enough shot, there it is. And I'm going to finish this baby up, put it on the Instagram page, and I hope you enjoyed this. So, lesson to take away, we used the decoupage paper and the Blue Sketch roses, and this is beautiful all by itself, but this is just another way to use it, is to cut out the roses and then paint them. So I hope you enjoyed watching tonight. I always enjoy being with you guys. And tune in Thursday night if you haven't subscribed. All right. Take care and have a wonderful week. Bye.